Hi guys, my name's Brittany. I wanted to share my infertility story and how I was able to find peace in this very, very hard journey. So I'm 26 years old. I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome, hypothyroidism, and I also only have one fallopian tube. So my husband and I have been married for almost 7 years now. We've actually been trying to conceive for years. This journey truly started about a year ago when I first went to the doctor. I always knew that I was probably going to need to be on medication in order to conceive because I didn't have a regular menstrual cycle. I was not ovulating on my own. So I always thought that it would be so easy. I would just need to go to the doctor, get on the medication, and boom, it would happen. And so March of 2020, I had my first appointment. And so I was prescribed metformin for my PCOS. I was put on a prenatal vitamin and an over-the-counter supplement called Ovasitol. My doctor told me that that would boost the chances of the metformin working. I was also prescribed Provera to induce a period each month because I only have about 1, maybe 2 periods a year on my own without the medication. So I'm overweight, and I know that losing weight is going to be a huge key in this journey to conceive. And I know that my weight is a big problem, and that's certainly not going to help me in getting pregnant. So I have been working on that. And I would say the first 2 months after that very first appointment, I was very motivated, and I thought for sure, I'm on all my medication now. I'm eating great. I was eating very healthy. I was exercising almost every day, and I thought for sure it would happen within 3 months. There was no doubt in my mind. I was doing everything the doctor instructed me to. And so when that first 3 months came by, nothing. I didn't seem to be making any progress. I was losing weight, and I felt better from living a healthier lifestyle. But as far as my reproductive health, seemed to be no progress. And so I didn't understand, and that started to discourage me. I didn't understand if I'm doing everything right. I didn't understand why it was happening. So I was very discouraged, disappointed, heartbroken. And from that point on, it's been a tough emotional road for me, because there was just so much heartbreak. And then every month, when you have what you think might be pregnancy symptoms, you're so anxious to go take a test, and you're hopeful. And it was like every negative test, it was just heartbreak all over again. It was devastating. And I was starting to become very impatient with God's timing. I am a believer, and I trust. I believe that it was going to be in God's timing. There's things that I can do to help myself, but ultimately it's going to be God's timing. And I became very impatient with that. I didn't want to wait. I didn't understand why God was taking so long. And I remember just every time that test would say negative, I would just cry out to the Lord and on my bathroom floor, and I would just cry out to Him, beg Him for a child. Just cry out, why are you holding out on me? Why aren't you giving me a child? And I became completely consumed by wanting to get pregnant. I was frustrated, annoyed, and I just didn't understand. I think my biggest thing that I struggled with was I didn't understand why, because was my thought process at that time. I felt like, God, I'll actually raise my kids to know you, to serve you. Yet there's women around me who are getting pregnant who are teaching their children about you is not their priority. And so I didn't understand. I was like, God, wouldn't you rather give children to parents who are going to raise those kids to serve you and know you, and versus parents who aren't? And that was a hard one for me. I struggled with that. And I would also look at people who I would see on the news or whatever about they and I was judging them and comparing them to myself, and I was just thinking, like, how are these people getting babies? You know, and I'm not. My husband and I, we're believers. We would be good parents, and there's people that you see on the news on drugs and they're getting pregnant, and it was just so hard for me to witness all that. And so I would say almost a year went on of that happening. And I would say the beginning of this year, 2021, I had a transformation in my life, which I'll discuss more in another video, the details of that. But it was a huge turning point in my life where I would say a good way to sum it up is I went from trying to revolve God around my life to now revolving my life around God. And that has given me so much peace in this journey, so much just hope, more hope, so much peace that I didn't even know I could have in this journey. And so obviously I still have a deep desire to be a mother and have a child with my husband, but I would say my desire to serve the Lord is greater. And I think that's the key. When we're so focused on our own desires, our own plans for our life, we're too distracted to see God's desires and God's plans for our life. And that's truly where our contentment and fulfillment comes from. And so once I reached that turning point, it gave me more patience for waiting in God's timing. I always had that head knowledge that it was going to be on God's timing. But as far as living it and having peace with it, that was a whole nother story. But I would say that now I have a deep peace. And like I said, my desire to serve the Lord is greater than my own desire to have children and the frustrations and disappointments that come with that. And so I know now I'm still going to do whatever I can, stay on my medication, keep losing weight, keep praying like crazy. But now I know and truly believe that God is also doing his part. And that's going to happen on his timing, which is going to be the right timing and the perfect timing. And I believe now that God isn't doing this just for the fun of it. Like, there's nothing that I did. I'm not being punished. It's not because I won't be a good mother. It's none of that. And there's a reason why he, like I said, he's not just holding out on me for the fun of it. There's a reason, and I'll probably never know that reason, but that's okay, because I believe 100% wholeheartedly that God is 100% good. He's faithful. He loves me, and whatever his plan is, whether I want his plan for me to be a mother, but if it's not, then I trust him, and I know that his ways are not my ways. And so my focus now is how I can serve the Lord, how I can walk out how I can be obedient to him, and live out the plan that he has for my life. And that has given me a lot of peace. And hopefully this video has given some hope and peace to people in similar situations, because I know how hard this is. And it's funny, before I truly started this journey this past year, I didn't think infertility was that common. I thought most people just have a baby whenever they want, and since I've started this journey, it's been an eye-opener that infertility is a lot more common than most people think, and a lot of people are going through this, and it's extremely difficult. So, and it'll consume us if we let it. So I think it's really important to rely on the Lord for our hope and our peace in this, because it's not good to be consumed by this and the negative emotions and feelings. It's just not healthy. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope this video can give you some peace.